Hey guys, so today we are just going to play with makeup. I feel like I haven't just sat down and really just played around with stuff in a while. I'm really looking forward to doing like a type of first impressions tutorial. This is not going to be one of those. I already have, well, I've used most of these things. Some of these things are brand new. Like this is the Maybelline City Minis palette, which I think is like so freaking cute. I'm just so excited to just play around and see what looks we come up with. I'm kind of thinking of doing like a purple smoky eye or something like that. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell that's like, you know, somewhere down there next to the subscribe button so you can be notified every time that I upload. And let's get right into the video. I'm gonna use some of this Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer to prime my eyelid. I'm gonna blend that in with my finger. The warmth of my finger is gonna kind of like just make the product really easy to blend, and it's just gonna all melt right in. Then I'm gonna set my eyelids with a little bit of the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder so that we can move right into the eyeshadow. Oh my god, this palette smells so good. The Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen. I have played with this palette before and I honestly really like it. I feel like it is such a nice palette. It's like so neutral, has warm tones. You have your highlighter, blush, and it's just gorgeous. I wouldn't consider this a bronzer. I don't know if they call this a bronzer or not, but like I honestly really wouldn't. I would use this as a blush. It smells like Nesquik chocolate milk. Oh my god, I love what it says. It says, believe in yourself, love yourself, embrace your individuality. I feel like if I collaborated on a palette, ooh, the light is gonna blind you guys. If I collaborated on a palette or if I created my own makeup line or anything like that, I would for sure write things like that in the palette. I feel like it's always nice to have like a little reminder. But anywho, let's see, what color do we, is it the reflection is like literally blinding me. Hello. I'm gonna go into this color right here, which is their like blush bronzer color or whatever it is, and I'm just grabbing a fluffy brush. This is the Sigma E35. This is a really good fluffy brush. Sigma brushes are really good. Wow, that is so pigmented. Ooh. And I'm just starting here in the outer part of the crease and then just blending it in toward the inner part of the eye. You want to make sure you really take your time blending this color because we really want to diffuse the edges. We don't want it to be harsh. Then I'm going to go into this beautiful purple right here called Man Cat. Such a nice purple. And I'm going in with this teeny tiny brush that is okay, this is like kind of smeared off, the R41. And with this I'm just going to start placing the color here in the outer corner. And then I'm just gonna go back in with the E35 and blend that out. But I wanna just go building up the color little by little, because then that way like I'm able to have more control over the placement of the color. So if you guys ever kind of wanna go safe with where you place the colors and stuff like that, always go in with a smaller brush first, just pack it on and then blend it out. Some of you guys were asking me to talk about my music taste. It's really funny because today, well actually 2 days ago, I got like a pre-sale code for Black's tour. He's like coming here to Miami and I'm like so excited. I'm for sure gonna go see him. And today the tickets go on sale to like the public and stuff. And he is one of the artists that I listen to the most. A friend had previously told me about him and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, whatever. She played his music and like I didn't really, it was at work and I didn't really pay attention to it. But then I saw him come up on my Spotify and I was like, oh, I think it's the guy that she was talking about. And then when I look and I just started listening to his stuff and all that, I was like, this album is amazing. Oh my goodness. And I love it. So the other genre that my favorite genre of music is alternative R&B, contemporary R&B. Like you could really, I don't know, you could really say either. And I have been a really big fan of The Weeknd since we were 20, because me and him are the same age. So I remember when I discovered him is when I think he came out with Crew Love, and he said he was like 20 around that time. and I was absolutely obsessed because I was going to that Drake tour that year, and I was basically like bumping that CD in my car all the time on the way to work. And then when Crew Love came out, I was like, who's this? And then that's when I looked into him. And then at that time he only had out his first 3 like albums, mixtapes. I don't even know what he like considered them. And it was like Thursday, House of Balloons. What's the other one called? Oh my god, I'm a fake fan. And I've been to every single concert that The Weeknd has had here in Miami. Like his small venues, like everything up to when he started performing at the American Airlines Arena. Except the last concert I went to of his was Beauty Behind the Madness. I didn't go to his recent concert for Starboy because I was saving up for like another concert, and I was like, dude, I've seen this man a million times every time he's come to Miami. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. That's pretty much my taste in music. I love alternative R&B. Like I love Banks, I love Bricka, Alt J. So many amazing artists. Like I can't even think of off the top of my head. But yeah, black is who I am bumping to lately. Okay, so now that we have all of that blended together, we're gonna want to hop into a darker purple. So I'm gonna go into the Lorac Pro palette. This is the number, yeah, this is just a Lorac Pro, into this color right here that's just called Deep Purple. Super original. And I'm gonna use the same little teeny tiny brush, and I'm gonna pop that in the outer part of my eye. That is darker than I expected. Okay, I'm gonna blend it out using the E25. It is a much smaller blending brush than the E35. So if you have like less eyelid space or anything like that, you might want to go with this type of brush. The next thing I'm gonna try out is the Maybelline City Minis palette. This is a product that they recently just came out with. They came out with a bunch of like little different ones. This one is so cute. It's very like cool toned. It's called Concrete Runway, and I've never ever used this before, so I'm pretty excited to use it. I'm gonna go into the silver and just go packing that on my eyelid. I'm curious to see how these shadows perform wet, so I packed a lot of that silver on a packing brush, and I'm just kind of spraying it with a little setting spray. So wet, it looks more like a silver shadow rather than like a silver glittery shadow, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I definitely like how this eyeshadow performs better when you spray it with a little setting spray. If you don't have setting spray, you can always do that to any of your glittery or shimmery shadows with eye drops. You can even do that with, I think you can do it with a little bit of water. I'm not sure, I think you can. Just like dampen your finger a little bit. I'm gonna do a little baby wing. I feel like this look definitely calls for one because this is very like sultry night out type vibe. I'm gonna use a Tony Moly Skinny Touch brush eyeliner, which I honestly really like. I love anything that has like a felt tip like that. Because I feel like it just helps you have more control over where you put the product. I'm like literally spinning, like my chair is like, ugh. What I normally like to do is kind of like hold the mirror a little bit of a distance after like I outline the whole line where my eyelashes are. I kind of just hold the mirror at a distance, so I'm looking straight at it, and then that's how I kind of do the wing with my eyes open. I feel like if you stretch out your eye, or if you go like that, it can come out a little strange. For primer, I'm going to use the NYX Hydra Touch Oil Primer, which I really like. I love using this on days that, you know, maybe I'm using like a very matte foundation, or my skin just needs like a little extra hydration. The lashes I'm going to use today are a little sassy, if you will. They are the I have like this whole situation going on back here. Look at my baby hairs. Look at this. Don't mind my hair, just let's keep going. So I'm gonna use the Flutter lashes in the style Intoxicating. They are gorgeous. They are beautiful. And I just let them dry for like a minute or so, not too long, because then the glue gets really dry and it becomes really hard to manage, and then like the inner corner is just like flapping everywhere and it's like poking your eye throughout the day or night. Okay, now that the lashes are finally on, can you guys guess what foundation I'm gonna use? I love this foundation so much. If you guys try this foundation, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to know if like it works out for you, if you really like it, if it doesn't. But I think it is such a good foundation. If you're really dry, you may want to prime with something very hydrating, like an oil primer, and make sure you have moisturized at least like 30-45 minutes before even putting on your primer, just to be on the safe side when testing this out, because this could be very mattifying, and I know for us that have dry skin, it's like a little uncomfortable. I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Opal. This is a highlighter, but you can mix it into foundation. You can get a little bit with your beauty sponge and kind of dab into the high points of your face. You can do anything like that, but I personally adore this Skin Perfector mixed with foundation. I feel like it gives it a very nice overall like dew. Then we're gonna add some concealer and just bring a little bit up here, because I do tend to get some darkness there. A little bit on the chin, and then right in between the eyebrows and on the tip of the nose and the Cupid's bow. I'm gonna give that just a second to dry, because I do notice that with my more liquidy foundations, if I give it just a second to dry, when I blend it in, it just blends out much nicer and more full coverage, and I personally really like that. In the meantime, I'm gonna just bronze up the face a little bit, kind of add a little bit of a contour and just warm up the face in general. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Medium Bisque, and I'm just gonna put a little bit right here. And I'm just going to go blend that all in toward the temples. I feel like the sponge still has a little bit of excess product of foundation, so it just really helps kind of just blend everything in together. Now that we're like on the topic of like bronzing and contouring, I'm really thinking about buying the KKW Beauty powder contour kits that Kim is coming out with. I was looking at them and I'm not a fan of the contour sticks. Like, even if they worked or didn't, like, one, I feel the price is like insane, and two, like, I'm just like, I don't know, like I don't really care for those contour sticks. You see, it just adds like a little bit of warmth to the face. I really like that. But back to what we were saying, I really am thinking of trying out the contour powder, especially like now, like kind of, I watched her talking about the powders and like kind of the purpose she had for them, and how like she's kind of not really into like that harsh contouring anymore and all that stuff, and she wants contouring to be a thing that's like more wearable and like more people wear, and like it's not intimidating, all these things, like, you know, all this spiel. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I should probably try that out, like, and maybe follow her tutorial on using the contour powder and do the video. Does that make sense? Like, I'm gonna use the contour powder kit, but use it the way she is using it in her tutorial, explaining it and the way she uses it. We'll see if the price is right, because Lord knows those little contour sticks were like $48, and I was like, God, that's so expensive. I'm just going to go back in with my sponge under my eye to kind of blend out any creasing that may have happened, because for sure it happened. I have a lot of fine lines under my eye. And then I'm going to go into the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder and set that baby in. Now I'm going to go back into Man Cat in the Swamp Queen palette, and I'm just going to go in with a little blending brush and blend that into my under eye. Add some color over there, because I feel like the eyes are just way too heavy to not have color on the under eye. Okay, now we're gonna move on to a little bit of contouring and bronzing. We're gonna set that cream contour, like the kind of like subtle bronze we did earlier with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I absolutely adore this bronzer. This is such a good like neutral toned bronzer, and I feel like it works really well. You could bronze, contour with it. I'm just going to stamp that on, and I'm gonna stop right where my eye begins. Now we are going to highlight the face using one of my all-time favorite highlighters. This is the e.l.f. Moonlight Pearls. Look at how pretty. It gives such a nice like natural glow to the skin, and it looks just like, it looks like skin. It looks like my skin is like kind of like wet. For lips, I'm gonna use the Kat Von D Bow and Arrow. I love Kat Von D's liquid lipsticks. Yeah, I think this will go. There's a very nice cool nude that I feel like would go with the eye look. I feel like you can leave this look like this with a very matte lip, but I'm gonna add a little bit of gloss because I'm feeling a little saucy. This is the Laura Mercier in Bare Naked, and it's like a little, I got like a little set that brought like a bunch of her glosses, and I love this one. It's such a nice sheer gloss. Now let's set the face and we are done. Woo. That feels so refreshing, especially on a hot ass day like today in Miami. I think it said it's like 103 degrees outside. I don't know. When I walked into my grandma's house, she was like, it's 103. And I'm like, where? Let's see. What's the temperature outside?
It's about 91 degrees outside. Hot.
Yeah, hot. She said it was like 103 in Homestead or something like that, which is like a little far from us. I mean, not a little far, but you know, it's a little bit. So we are finally done doing this kind of just playing with makeup. Was supposed to be a purple smoky eye, but ended up being a whole other situation. But honestly, I really liked how it came out. I feel like it looks very like nighttime, I don't know. But if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Toodles!